Hi, this is Kate Walker, and we are going to talk about how to add continuing education courses to your existing practice. So I'm sharing my screen, and the first thing we're going to talk about is a learning management system. A learning management system is the delivery system for your work of art, your course, the beautiful thing that you are going to sell to other folks. So would you guys give me a thumbs up if you seem to be looking at the back office of a website? Yeah, all right, good deal. So I use WordPress for, this is actually the second, I'm going to show you the first version of my LMS. When I started doing courses, what I did was I asked a lot of questions. I networked just like you guys are doing. And I found out basically what an online course is. It's somebody else's material and my quiz. Okay. There's nothing new under the sun. I think King Solomon said that. There's nothing new. It's just how it's curated and how it's presented. And so when we're going to talk about copyright and licensing, but as long as you don't restrict other people's work with a paywall, right? Somebody has to pay you to get access to work that's not yours, not okay, right? But if you give access to other people's work, then you can take money for the quiz. So initially, that's how I started out. And there's a free software that it used to be through Google. It may still be through Google. Get this out of the way. There we go. It's called Flubaroo. Flubaroo is basically made for teachers. And so this is probably the quickest way I can think of if you want to get a course up and running quickly. Because what you're going to do is you're going to use Flubaroo to build a quiz. That's it. Now, here's the tricky part. Unless it's gotten more advanced, there's no way to take money through this. So this didn't work for me for very long because it built quickly. What I was doing was the 40-hour training. I was offering CEs for supervisors. So I had so many people coming in and I was having to contact them. I don't even remember how I did this. I think I had like a PayPal button somehow integrated with the web page. And there were like 14 moving pieces. It was not easy. But if you have something where you're just wanting to get up and running really, really quickly, Flubaroo is nice because it really just is the quiz. Now, the learning management system then I moved to, fast forward to about 2019. I think 2019 is when was it 2017? You know, it might have been 2017. In 2017, I was still giving a hybrid 40-hour training, so half in person, half online. 2019, the law changed so that the 40-hour training could be given completely online. And so that's when I really invested some money into a learning management system. And what I chose was LearnPress. So LearnPress, you can see it over here in WordPress, it's called a plugin. So you have to pay for this, but then it magically floats down to your website, integrates, plugs in, and they talk to each other. But you can see there are lots of moving parts here. So if I click on the courses screen, you can see I actually had to get them into folders. So if I wanted to just do all the courses, here they are. And not a whole lot, but this is where it gets fun. Each course, if I click on, let's say, theories of counseling and supervision. So when you screen share, it's a little bit hard. And I will tell you, this program is massive, so we may not get it to load completely. Oh, there it goes. So the text is here, the syllabus, the program requirements, what you can expect. And then LearnPress allowed me to create these modules. And so I'll talk to you about how I create that. So a welcome module, navigating the course module, technical requirements. And then generally I like to have 4 modules and a quiz. And it was super it was very intuitive. So it was something that I could teach myself. So there are the lessons. This is going to blow your mind. Watch when I click on quizzes, because this isn't just quizzes. This is, if I had 5 courses and each course had 20 questions, this is where they all live, right? This is every single course. So it's really nice for those of us who are visual, because we're able to look through here and say, well, here are my lessons, here are my quizzes, here are my courses. I can design my own certificates, which was great. So if I click on, let's say my 40-hour training CE, there's the certificate of completion, and then I can make that something that integrates with every single version of the 40-hour training, the 2019 version, the 2020 version, 2021, as long as the state didn't change the requirements. This was nice because those of you who took this, you might remember it gave you a profile, and it was really it was nice because you could keep your courses in there. You could kind of personalize it. So you might be thinking, okay, well, why'd you give this up if it's so wonderful? And Bernadette, great question. That disqualified an LMS for me completely. It had to provide the certificate automatically. I wasn't going to chase people down. And that's what Flubaroo, that's what I learned from Flubaroo. Flubaroo did not administer a certificate automatically. So when I was learning all this and I was getting up to speed, it's like, okay, here are my LMS options. One of the things it has to do is deliver a certificate automatically. So that definitely LearnPress does that. I think there's something similar. If you Google LearnPress, you'll actually see another LMS. I think it's not LearnWorlds, but there's some they're all very, very similar. So Rachel wants to know, will the potential new rules on preferred providers affect our ability to offer CEUs? Well, maybe. So the answer is, first of all, I think right now it's just LMFTs that are proposing rules where half of your CEs have to be from a state provider, an organization provider, a university provider, or a nationally recognized provider like NBCC. So if someone is up to their half and they don't need any more just freelancers like you and me, then yeah, that might impact you, because then they have to go direct their efforts at trying to get CEs from these organizations. I did go ahead and become an NBCC provider. I did it to be on the safe side in case something like this happened, but I don't know what the comments, I think the comments closed on this May 30th or something like that. So we don't know if it even went through. Bernadette wants to know, does it show the time in session or keep the user in a section until the time has expired? You can do either one. So what she's asking, it's something we call it a drip. So if you want to drip content, like if you want someone to stay in module 1 for a week, and then after 7 days, the other one, module 2 opens, and 7 days later, module 3 opens, we call that a drip. And that is something that this will do. And I'll scroll down. Let me go back to courses. And I'm going to click on, let's do ethics technology. I'm not going to open the 40-hour, not because I don't want you to see it. It's because it's massive. And that's, again, one of the reasons I gave up this learning management system. It's just, you could tell it was just like, all the hamster wheels are turning in there, and that, it just took so much time to build and to process. And the 40-hour training is 40 hours. It's all of these courses in one. So yeah, Bernadette, if you look down here, you could actually, I could set that, like for the 40-hour training for LPCs, I could set this to 90 days. 90 days, boom, the course closes. I can't even open it. It's done. Maximum students, that's usually a dummy number. It's just for marketing. Same thing with students and roles, but you can put in things for if they're allowed to retake it, how many hours, the assessment, how you want to evaluate through the lessons. So completion, like if they complete it and fail the quiz, can they still get a certificate? You can make it quiz only. So many options here. And this one did integrate with a money machine. So money machines, that's going to be like PayPal or Stripe or Square. This integrates with that. and which made it very, very handy. And then of course the certificates. Okay, countdown timer. So it's 30 minutes and the person can't move to the quiz until the time has passed. Yeah, this one does that. I can't. I just can't remember which. And honestly, Bernadette, I wouldn't use this one again. There are better ones than this, but this is sort of what the rest of them look like. I'm going to show you a spreadsheet, and I'll kind of, let me flash to that really quickly. You may not be able to see it unless I share my screen again, but I will show you guys this. Thumbs up if you can see a spreadsheet. Probably not, huh? Yeah, you can? Okay. And this is what I highly recommend that you do. Go through and create Learn Worlds. Learn Dash, that was it. That was the one I almost bought. Learn Dash. Articulate, I did that for a while. That was super expensive and I didn't use it that much. So anyway, I'll show you guys this. I didn't create this, but it's been enough time that I don't mind sharing this. You'll definitely have to do your own homework though, but at least it'll give you a place to start. So there's a cost element here, anywhere from, it just depends. It could be, $100 to, $1,500. Usually that's an annual fee. And of course, the more bells and whistles you want or you need, the more you're going to pay. But I cannot emphasize enough what it means to have a course that gives you few headaches. So let me transition a bit here. So one of the things you have to remember is customer service, right? Usually when you're selling CEs, folks are a little antsy. They want their certificates. It's like, I've got to turn this in 2 days. And it's like, I know, I feel you. I really, really do. But I don't know, number one, who you are. If you took my course, and then we have these things like, did you click the complete button? Or did you accidentally key in the wrong email address and it sent this to a place that you'll never get because you right? So there's so many things that can go wrong that honestly, going from this very complex course to a simpler format, it just made sense for me and my team. But just keep in mind, screenshot is your friend. And so as you build these things, take screenshots for your users. This is how you create a profile. This is how you log in. This is how you start the course. This is what you do if it gives you a message that says, everything's gone, all is lost, go back. And also I put a message at the beginning of all my online courses that basically says online courses aren't for everyone. Some of us are just better with synchronous workshops. I'm better. I do better with workshops. So you have to be able to very kindly tell your customers, look, it's not going to be as lively and interactive, and you may think I'm ignoring you, or you may think that, this is just so much. And it is a lot. So because with online, my philosophy has always been, for better or for worse, more instead of less. I want you to leave an online course feeling like you worked your ass off. I want you to feel like you earned that certificate, because that's how much I love you. And that's how much I want you to become a supervisor who's amazing. So I'm going to click over to Podia. Okay, so Podia is the learning management system that I use now. And let's see if I can give you something that's not my back office, although I'm going to show you my back office. Okay, so Podia, it looks like this. You can get started for free. I have something called the mover shaker plan. So the mover shaker plan, again, it allows me to integrate with my email, which is really important for me. But if I click my back office, so that's another vocabulary term. When I say back office, it means for, the website. I'm going to go back to Kate Walker Training for a second. You are literally looking at the back of my website. So if I click, you know, plugins, tools. I mean, you're in the inner workings of my website. With Podia, you're not. You're actually going to another site. And I cannot tell you how much my operating system on my computer appreciated this, because again, my computer was trying to push all this data every time something went to open, or every time I wanted to, you know, change my headshot because I'm not a blonde anymore, right? My computer was like, okay, hang on, we've got to get all this stuff moving, right? So as your courses grow, doing something like Podia might make sense for you because it's literally off-site. Now, the only way you'll know it, if I go back to my website and we visit the site, when you click on e-courses, still looks like my site, but you're no longer there. You're actually on something called lead pages. And when you go down here and you click, let's see, let's go ahead and do the 40-hour training. You wouldn't know you're not on my site unless you look at the URL, right? Because it says Podia in there. But generally, folks don't look at the URL, right? And hopefully it doesn't signal a flag with your home computer, but you are no longer on my website here. You are in Podia. And so with Podia, it's, you know, the similar idea where you've got courses, except there are some other options here. If but I'm going to stick with products for now. So the products, let's see, 40-hour training. Let's go there. So when we click, I could show you all the people who are enrolled in the course. I'm not going to do that because I don't have their permission to share their identities with you. But if I click edit, you can see it's similar to what we were working there, with in WordPress. But for me, this is so much easier on the eyes, right? So I can add text, I can add a video, I can add a quiz. There are all my modules. With my 40-hour training, there's a lot of turn-in work. So I can post that here. When you click, let's see, they're going to do a supervision contract, right? So let's click on that. Here are the instructions. There's my video. I can do some downloads in here. I can, if I want to give them the 2019 rules, because BHEC doesn't show us old rules anymore, I can add that. And then at the end, this is where it does, this wasn't my favorite. Let's see, okay, where am I? I don't want to view the lesson. I want this to get out of my way. Okay, so I'm going to go back here to edit. And this is the tough part. So Bernadette, I'm going to go back to what you were saying before. We did have to make a compromise here with Podia because the course certificate just looks crappy. It's just not what I would consider to be representative of me and my business. So I'll preview that for you. I mean, that's what it looks like. So what we did as a workaround was we said, okay, you're going to get 2 certificates. You're going to get a certificate from Podia. And if that's all you need, great, you're good to go. But we are also going to send you an email. And the email is going to have our 40-hour training attached. And when we edit the logo, email, okay, we're not sending an email with this one. Okay, so never mind. If I pull up another course, like let's say theories or developmental models, if you were taking that as a standalone course, you would have a certificate in your email that has Kate Walker Training, the phone number, my NBCC provider number, how to contact the board, all of that official information, so you can feel comfortable turning into the board. All right, let me go to questions. Rachel, there's no such thing as a rookie question. Is most of the material written or video? This is such a good question. So the problem, and I don't want to save changes, so I'm going to get out of there. get back to products. And let me stop the share just a second. So here's the thing with, if you're doing CEs, so let me just talk to those of you who want to do CEs. With the hour, right? 1 CE hour, 2 CE hours, 40 CE hours, you literally, if you're going to do video, it is hour for hour. 1 hour of video equals 1 hour of CE. So with NBCC, which I'm also a provider, it's a little bit, sorry, that's Andy. Andy's scratching and his collar's loud. With NBCC, it's 6,000 words equals 1 hour. All right, so I have a combination of both. So if I'm going to deliver video and I don't feel like talking for 3 hours, and I never feel like talking for 3 hours, then what I will do is I'll supplement that with other reading. And, you know, it might be a textbook, it might be an article, it might be something you need to download or go research, but I'm always counting. I literally, when I put these words together, I'm kind of a whiteboard addict. I will put down, okay, theories. I'm up to 4,000 words plus 1 hour of video, which equals, you know, 1.45 hours. And I'm like, oh crap, I need more stuff. So I'm digging and I'm digging until I get literally 3 hours of stuff for a 3-hour course. Let me see, I don't want to forget your question. So this is my dilemma because I want to be able to give people transcripts of my video. I love reading. I don't like watching videos. I'm a reader because I can read really fast. But if I do that, guess what that does to my hour of video? It compresses it down to maybe 2,000 words, and I will have lost 3/4 of my course. So my choice, and you can do whatever you want because it just depends on whose rules you're following and how you want to do it. My choice is to do a combination of video and text, and that's why. Michael wants to know, does Podia replace LearnPress or sync with it? It replaced it. I completely replaced LearnPress. Those of you who were trying to do the transition with me, we completely transitioned March 1st. So, and it's hard. It's hard to switch LMS. It's like, you know, I don't know, like you're engaged to someone and then you're like, hey, you know what? It's not really working out for me. And right. So when you break up with your learning management system, you've got all these customers out there who are like, well, you know, I don't log in every day, Kate. I log in once every 2 years and I can't get into my account. It's like, it's okay. You know, we're over here now. And as a CE provider, I still have to keep track of everything. So I can't get rid of LearnPress, at least in my mind, comfortably for another few years until I'm comfortable. So I've got to continue paying for it, even though I'm not using it, because I want to make sure that the customers who used me before the transition still have access to their stuff. So it's just an added layer. Good question, though. Anybody in Texas? So we had a question about how your course can count for a CE. Anybody in Texas can be a CE provider. You can be a CE provider. You can be a CE provider, as long as you follow the rules for a CE provider. And so when you go to LPC or social work or psychology or LMFT and you look and see, they'll have specific things a CE provider needs to do, which is keep the stuff for a certain number of years, provide a registration, take attendance. For online courses, it's a little bit different, but as long as you're following those rules, you can be a CE provider. So let's talk about other people's stuff. Rachel asks, what if you inserted relevant podcasts? So I insert other people's stuff all the time, but here's what I do. In Podia, and LearnPress does this too, it allows you to check a box that says this lesson is previewable. So that means you don't have to buy the course to preview the material. And so what I've done in my courses, because I can't preview every lesson, obviously that would not work, right? I wouldn't make any money. In the first module, I say, you know, I will not restrict anybody else's work through a paywall. So in other words, if someone else owns it, licenses it, copyrights it, I can't restrict access to it. That's illegal. But what I can do is I can list a link to every bit of material that I use. And I can do it in that either if I have a syllabus lesson, or I might want to just create a module that says, hey gang, here are all the resources that I'm using. And I won't restrict this by my license or by paywall. So you have the ability to click without even buying my course. You can click here, and I found, and this is crazy, I found a textbook, Samuel Gladding's theories textbook. And, it's one of those things you kind of do a double take, like, and I guess it's an older version or something like that, but it's available, and it's not through me, it's through another university, but I link to it because there's no paywall. Nobody has to purchase anything. So if I have someone taking the 40-hour training and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember my theories, it's been years, they can literally click this link, go to Samuel Gladding's theory book, review their theories offsite somewhere, and then come back to me for the review and the quiz and the certificate, right? What I make sure of is that I put the link to this textbook in the previewable part of my course so that I'm not restricting access because somebody has to buy it first. And I go back and every year I check all of these links because I'm like, is that still there? I'm still waiting for somebody to take that away. It's like, oh crap, we've been giving this away for free. Okay, so we talked about Podia. So one of the things, again, I don't want to make this about marketing, but I think I'm trying to impress upon you the importance of marketing, because you don't want to just create this stuff and then it just sits there and nobody gets it. So let's go to the HIPAA-FERPA training, maybe. No, let's do developmental models. So when we click this and we edit, boom, one of the things that you'll see when we go to details is ConvertKit. That is my email system. And
we can't see your screen.
Oh, thank you. I do that all the time. All right. So in the back office of developmental models, this is where my course talks to my email. So when you take developmental models, you're going to get a tag that says developmental models of supervision. That tag means if I go to my email and I just want to send an email to you, then I can pull up just the people who've taken that course and send them an email. So I'm not sending it to everybody. If I have a great upsell for you, upsell is a new vocabulary word. Upsell means I want you to spend more money. I want you to buy more stuff from me. Then I can target you because you've already spent money, right? You've already bought things from me. And remember that funnel, you're like in the middle now. If you've spent money on me, then I can send you an email that says, hey, you might be interested in this. Now, lucky for me, I really believe in my product. And it goes back to the customer service. If you don't believe that what you're selling is good, don't do any of this, right? It's hard to sell something that you don't believe in. So tonight in my Instagram, I did a thing about imposter syndrome. I don't know if that ever goes away. So I still get imposter syndrome. So when I send you emails, and I'm doing that because I want you to take my courses. I want you to take these courses because I truly believe they're the best, or one of the best, because there's so many of my colleagues. Leanne Salmonson has a great course. I just found somebody in Austin who gives a workshop. A couple of folks who've taken my course, they have started their own supervisor refresher courses, Jamie Porter and Catalina Previch. So a lot of people out there give great stuff. Buyer beware, make sure you look. What else do I want to tell you? We talked about licensing, copyright, NBCC, state laws. Let's talk a little bit about Okay, let's talk about, no, I do want to show you one more thing now that I have you. So we've got, showed you Flubaroo. Interact. Okay, so Interact is, I'm playing with this software. I'm not sold on it yet. It's pretty cool. So you can see up at the top in the URL. No, because it's tight. Yeah, try Interact. So I'll type it over here. And I'm always looking for fun things that look a little bit different. So this is more of the marketing quiz. So I know we've been talking about CEs, but if you're going to use a quiz to pre-qualify or disqualify potential clients, this is a pretty fun place to look. Another one is Articulate. ARTI. Let's do RISE. No, I'm going to do Articulate. And if you've ever taken my HIPAA training, I had some really, really cool graphics. I mean, it would be like somebody standing there, like, Bob wants to know what you're going to do with that thumb drive. Are you going to throw it in the desk drawer? Or are you going to put it in a locked cabinet? And it'd be like a true or false. And if you got it wrong, Bob would kind of scowl at you and say, nope, that's not what you do. Well, that cost over $1,000 a year. And I don't use it anymore. It was really neat, and if you like those kind of bells and whistles, this is a super cool place to go. Articulate. And I use something called RISE, Articulate, and the subcategory was RISE, RISE. I can't emphasize enough, I know I keep saying that, your organizational system, because you're going to be awesome and you're going to grow. You really must have standard operating procedures. And so we call those, if you are military, like my husband, it was funny, I told my husband, I'm like, yeah, I learned this new term, SOP. And he's like, really? He's like, you mean standard operating procedure? And I'm like, how did you know that? Military person. And he goes, sounds like a FUBAR to me. Those of you out there know what that is, huh? So SOP. Why are SOPs important? Because when Janie calls you or emails you on a Friday at 4:49 and needs her certificate because she's getting audited, and if she doesn't have it in by 5 o'clock, she's gonna, I don't know, explode. If you don't have a standard operating procedure to either, one, get her certificate, or two, tell your assistant how to get her certificate, then the Google machine gets started, right? You don't have to please everybody all the time unless you're in business, in which case you kind of do, right? So everything that you do, be very thoughtful about it. Remember I said earlier, screenshot is your friend. I take copious pictures of everything so that I can tell my assistant, look, here's what it looks like, here's where it is. And she and I are learning together. Because the transition just happened in March. So she'll learn something and share it with me. I'll learn something and share it with her. And we try to do everything with a smile. But your standard operating procedure will save your bacon. Let's talk about equipment. I know I said I would do that. Let me stop the share. So, shameless commercial, because you're here for free and I have a few more minutes before you hang up. If you are interested, if you are building courses and you are pulling your hair out because of all the things and you just feel like a day would help you, just a day to get shit done. Well, we're going to put on 3 days. That's actually, we're going to do 4 nights and 3 days in Austin, Texas. We are going to get shit done. And this is what Cindy and I do. I know some of you out there do this too. When you get together with another buddy and you guys are both business minded and you're going to focus and you're going to get the piles reduced from here to here. So take your phone and check out the QR code. This isn't something where you're going to have to pay me today. It will allow me to send you a targeted email though, because this is an opt-in. This is an opt-in that we use to target you and send you more information. So if you are interested in April 2023, spending some time, quality time with us on 6th Street in Austin, getting shit done, please take a moment and use your QR code there. And everybody good? I will stop the share. Let's talk about equipment. So I'm going to take the camera. Those of you who get seasick, just kind of close your eyes for a second. Here we go. What I do is I change stuff all the time. So I've gone to 2 monitors, and I love 2 monitors. I don't know how I ever lived without 2 monitors. When you're building courses and you have content on one side and your LMS on the other, 2 monitors is a must. I bought a new computer because, again, when I was using that LearnPress, I just didn't have enough hamsters in there, making things go. It just took so long. For my microphone, this is called a Yeti Blue. It's very affordable. It's excellent, excellent microphone. For my camera, you can't see it, but it's a Logitech Brio. Logi, L-O-G-I, Brio. And I just purchased an external hard drive. And that's right here. Now, this other equipment, I'm going to be doing some mixing for, I'm starting a podcast. So I did invest in something called Presonus. You don't need that to do your courses. This is just me kind of taking it to the next level because I want to do a podcast, especially after listening to Cindy and Crystal Acosta talk about theirs. What I have, this little handy thing just came in the mail today and I'm in love with it. It is a USB dock that's powered. I can literally power these suckers on and off. So it's making my life. And this is my fan, which I'm about to turn up to 11. This is a little sound room over here, and it's really nice. It doesn't get rid of the noise of the leaf blowers. So if somebody's mowing the lawn right out your window, it's gonna bleed through. But it's really nice in just cutting out ambient noise. Very, very affordable. Those of you who don't use a filter on Zoom and you're still, I know when the pandemic when it first started, I bought a green screen, and a green screen was kind of fun because you could play with backgrounds and things like that. So when you are ready, you're going to have to record some videos. Yes, USB docks are the best because apparently Mac and Windows, they don't believe in USBs anymore, which, whatever, it's fine. We'll find a workaround. I use, give me one second. Camtasia. Now, this is, I'm not going to give it like a stellar recommendation because I just didn't shop a lot. This was the first one I landed on. It's the first one I purchased. Camtasia, I'm going to share my screen. And the project I'm going to show you, and all my projects are stored on my external hard drive. TechSmith Camtasia. This is my video editing software. And so what I'm showing you, let me stop the share and add sound. Give me one second. And so this is fun. You can use this, you can use a template for your course. So when I hit play, hear the sound? And I don't have to, that's called gears of steel, right? So I can go up here to the library, and there are all kinds of, and if you've gone through any of my courses, you have heard of probably all of these, right? These are all copyright free. So you have to remember when you're building courses, again, go back to what I said about licensing. You can't put a paywall between your audience and stuff you didn't create. Bad things will happen to you, right? Because the artists, that's not fair. So you want to make sure that whatever you choose, whatever software you choose, you get material, the music, all of that is free, copyright free, so that you can add and do what you need to do. So when you go here and let's say, okay, I want to add media, go up here to media and I hit the plus sign. I'm going to import media. Let's see, this is a recording I did back in March. Double click. There it is. I click and drag. Or I could actually, I don't even have to click and drag. I can just say, add to the timeline at the playhead. And now I've got my course getting built right before. Hi, it's Dr. Kate Walker, and I am so excited about our, and then if I want to put the course intro at the end and add, thanks for watching or something like that, it's real easy to do because it's just like you use with Word. You click copy, paste, put it at the end, and you can change the words right here, like, and then you can put your information for your website. So again, this is called Camtasia. All right, I've gotten through, let's see. No, please don't save the changes. Awesome. All right, we're going to come back. All right, guys. How have I done? Have I answered your questions? Have you gotten what you needed out of this? Please throw it up in the chat. Bernadette says, oh, name of the noise canceling thing. I don't remember, honestly. If you go into Amazon and you put in like a soundproof podcast, video streamer, this little thing will pop up. How much can, okay, so somebody wants to know again about price. You can charge whatever you want. Of course, as with anything, you kind of want to see what the market value is. I charge, generally it's about $30 an online hour. Some people charge more, some people charge less. And then of course the 40-hour training is not $30. So what I do, the more hours it is, the better, the more of a discount I give because I want to make it affordable. But for those of you who wondered why the 40-hour training costs so much, now you know, right? So one of the things that I do every year is I sequester myself for about a week and just go through every single video so that when I post this in January 2023 and it says the 2023 developmental models or the 2023 40-hour training, you know that the content isn't stale. It may be the same video, but I've reviewed it and I've made sure that everything is correct. Question, do you know of anyone who's built courses for parent-child interaction training, like for, oh my gosh, that is a huge, I would think that's an amazing niche, Llewellyn. Actually, it's funny, she's the person who got me into online courses actually built courses for people who had to take, I think, anger management or something. And so she went to a few counties in Texas and she got contracts with those counties to provide their anger management training. And I may be saying it wrong. So, Gina, if you're listening, I may have gotten that wrong, but there are all kinds of niches for for this, right? And Llewellyn, let me PM you and I'll get you her information and because I haven't asked her if I could do this and we're recording, but yeah, there are all kinds of ways that you can use courses. So again, think about the who, right? If your object is to use courses and you're trying to pre-qualify or disqualify clients, like you want to make sure that they're adolescents between the ages of 16 and 19, then create a quiz. How old are you? How old is your kid? I mean, you can think of specific questions. So when they get to the end of the quiz, they get a message that says, hey, I don't think I'm the best counselor for you, but I've got some great recommendations. Give us a call and we'd be happy to share who we know, right? So you're still forming that relationship. If you're going to create a course ancillary to treatment, and you have a great exercise for communication. My former intern, Ebony Harris, she created a course because she was like, I was getting kind of bored teaching the same 4 sessions with couples, right? It's the same 2 to 3 to 4 sessions. I'm teaching you how to take turns. I'm teaching you how to, what I hear you saying is when I hear that, I feel, right? So she said, I created this course and I feel like that when my clients come to me now, my couples, we're actually getting down to the meat. And they're working a lot harder and they're able to go a lot deeper into their topic because they took care of the course. And then, of course, using it for B2B, like with other counselors, you're going to give them opportunities to get CEs. The quiz sounds like clickbait. Well, it's so clickbait. Let's do a reframe. Let's call it the top of the sales funnel, right? Bait isn't bait if I'm not hungry, right? And that's what you have to remember, right? If I have a toothache, I'm not going to look at my dentist's business card as clickbait. I'm going to be like, oh, thank God I found my dentist's business card because I'm in pain. I need relief, right? So when you are paying, Google to promote this, and you don't really give any meaningful information, yeah, that's clickbait and it's really wasting everyone's time. But you guys aren't like that, right? So when you offer a quiz, like, are you a good fit for me? And I don't think that's probably the best kind of quiz, but we'll just do that for now. Asking a potential client, are you a good fit for me? Click here and see. Then at the end of that quiz, I would make sure there's still follow-up, there's still a phone call, there are still resources, right? Because you're not selling a jalopy, right? You're selling a Bentley. You guys are Bentleys. So get that imposter syndrome out of the way, right? Get your stuff out there. You're helpful. You're here to help your community. Oh, good. Thank you, Karen. All right. Looks like we have some resources. So it is 8:05, and so I am going to hit stop on the recording in just a second, but I'm going to hang out. So if you have questions, please feel free to hang out and ask me questions. Please sign up for the Get Shit Done Day, if only to talk with us about it and see if it's a good fit for you, because I would love to spend 3 or 4 days in Austin with 20 of y'all, and let's really get this shit done. So ready, here I go. I'm going to stop the recording. 3, thanks for watching. 3, 2, 1.